welcome everybody. My name is Judy Jeffers, and I'm sure a lot of you know that by now after many, many, many years. I am the introducer, the official introducer. This is I like it. I like to see all of you people here. I will read through this. I did not memorize it. This is my cheat sheet. The Hell's Half Mile Film and Music Festival brings scores of independent filmmakers, actors, and bands from all over the country to downtown Bay City. Founder and director Alan Lafave will present the history of the event and what to expect at this year's festival. Before I go any further, I need to introduce, can you hear me?
Your mic's not on.
Yeah, it is. She needs to talk louder.
Okay, is this any better?
Judy, you yell at me all the time, so just yell at them.
Okay, all right. Now, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Good. I will use my voice I use for my children. I have to introduce to you Jan Rao. Jan is the chairperson of the River of Time, and she's going to tell you a little bit about River of Time this year.
This year, it is the last weekend of September, so that's September 28, 29, and 30. The 28th is Friday, our education day, where our students come and visit our reenactors, and that, in recent years, we get an average of 2,000 students. So it's been very well received by our educational community. We are having our regular, as you say, regular reenactors. We're going to be having President Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin. We will be having a flyover with World War II vintage airplanes Saturday at 3 o'clock. We will be having a river battle with the Apple Door also Saturday afternoon. So those things will be returning. Our settlers, i.e. our vendors, where you can shop your little hearts out. We have our regular vendors, but we also have two new ones this year. We have a pottery vendor that's coming. We haven't had someone selling pottery in a while. And we also have a lady coming that's going to be selling hats. And so if you're like me and hard to fit for a hat, you can have one custom made. So be sure to come and visit our Settlers Row as well. We feature multiple time periods. So we're going to be having Native American, colonial, French and Indian, Civil War, and World War II. We'll be having some World War II vehicles, including a duck. That will be returning with us. We will have a tin-type photographer walking around, working with our reenactors and taking pictures of them. And so we have enough, I think, for everyone. As I always say, there will be weather at the event. This year, we're hoping, Mr. Mike assures me, that it's going to be cooler than last year. And having said that, then, you want to prepare for that. Dress in layers so that as you get there, if you get there early, you have a jacket, something you can take off when the afternoon comes, and then something you can put back on as it starts to cool down through the evening. Reenactors are there, rain or shine, so we'll be looking for you. Come prepared. They didn't call the Battle of Shiloh on account of rain. So we will be there. It's going to be Saturday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so we're looking forward to seeing you there. And I thank you.
Okay.
So if everybody remembers last year's River of Time, it was 95 degrees from 10 in the morning until
Forever.
11 o'clock at night. So there was no layering, it was just stripping.
Come as you are.
They asked me last year to be in charge of the weather, and I said, okay, not anymore. So I don't make the coffee here anymore, and I'm not in charge of the weather, so I'm slowly losing my power.
But you're so nice about it. Okay, can everybody hear me again?
Sure.
Good. I should remind everybody, make sure your cell phones are turned off so we don't, It's a good thing I said something. Okay, our program in October, October 13th, it's the story of the Pine Ridge Cemetery with Chelsea Berg. The cemetery is fascinating. I drive by it fairly often. Does everybody know where Pine Ridge is? Okay, if you drive in, it's so neat, and they have taken such good care of it. It's a wonderful, wonderful facility. So that should be a good program. The burial ground went from being abandoned and overgrown to a historic site with local author Chelsea Berg, and she has written a book. And she will be having the book here, and if you would like to purchase the copy of the book, she will autograph it on the same day that the presentation. Cash check sales only. No charges available for her books. So that should be an interesting program. Second Saturday, November 10th, will be the story of Herman Hiss and Company Jewelers, and young Tom Tabor, as my mother used to refer to him. He's, I think, Thomas Tabor the third or fourth. He will be here to do the presentation, and that's a good time to have Herman Hisses, where you can get ideas. Well, he won't bring. I don't think he'll bring jewelry in, and I don't think he'll have samples. But wouldn't that be lovely? You could tell him what carat size you need for your diamond. But he will be telling about the history about the store. And there'll be no presentation in December. Everybody's busy Christmas shopping. So that's it. I think we're ready to go. Thank you for coming. And we'll see you in January. What is January?
Rick Mixter.
Oh, Bob, okay.
Rick Mixter will be back to
Okay,
do
Rick
another
Mixter.
shipwreck.
Rick Mixter always starts our season, and he starts it out with a bang. So please remember that, and there'll be things in the newspapers as always. Thanks very much for coming. Enjoy the program.
Really appreciate your presence here. The Hell's Half Mile Film and Music Festival started 13 years ago now. We consider this our lucky 13th year. I'm one of the festival founders and the festival director and the board president and the marketing guy and so on and so on and so on. But it's been a really great event. And really we brought this festival to Bay City because one of my previous jobs, I traveled around the country a lot, and everyone would say, "Oh, wouldn't you rather live somewhere else?" I'm like, "No, I love Bay City. This is my hometown." And what I would take from other towns that I'd visit was something interesting to say, "Why, that would really go over well in Bay City if we just did it the right way." So after traveling to the Traverse City Film Festival for the first year, back in 2005, myself and a couple of friends decided, let's bring a film festival to Bay City. We had talked about doing some sort of arts-related event, and the film festival, film and music, was something that we were passionate about. So we thought, let's follow our passions and bring something to Bay City. Now, this is a historical museum, and I want to back up to something that they were saying about Tom Tabor being here and doing a presentation on Herman Hiss. I'm going to steal a little bit of Tom's thunder. Did you guys know that last year was the 150th anniversary of Herman Hiss and Company in downtown Bay City?
Yes.
They're as old as Canada. Canada was 150 last year as well. I think that's absolutely amazing. It just blows my mind. Herman Hiss and Company in downtown Bay City is as old as Canada. That's just crazy. So thinking about history, I want to move things forward into what we're doing today. I mean, one of my favorite things to do is to take my mom up to the casino in Standish. I was 91 years old, and yes, I enjoy going to the casino as much as she does. Last night was not a good night at the casino, but we had fun anyway. But the reason I like taking her up to the casino in Standish is because I get to hear all of her stories about growing up and our history. Her mother grew up in the Pinconning area. Her father grew up in the Pinconning area. So for me, every time we drive past Pinconning, I get to hear all these really great stories about her cousins and her grandparents and her uncles and aunts and so on. So that's what the film festival is about as well. It's storytelling. And we have a lot of really wonderful stories to share with you this year, as we have in years past. So what we try to do is bring slices of life from people from all over the world to you, to our audience, through film. And you've been watching this video over and over and over, and I apologize, that was my first time hula hooping, so I did my best. But this is our website, and I wanted to provide that as just a little bit of a backdrop to what we do at the festival. It's really about community as well as storytelling. We bring a lot of filmmakers into the community to share their stories and their experiences with making the films that they build with their stories. And I'd like to share with you, if you don't mind, just a short video that's what we call a sizzle reel. And this gives a glimpse of the films that will be playing at the festival, both short films, narrative features, and documentaries. We also do animated films as well as student films. So I'm going to cue this up real quick and share with you just a short sizzle reel of what's playing at this year's festival. So I know that doesn't tell you a lot about each of the films that we have playing at the festival, but again, it's just meant to give you an idea of the range of films. If you'd like to watch the trailers for the films, you can find them at hellshalfmile.com. And we have the full schedule. Tickets are just $7 to each film. We have music events as well. But I wanted to mention that we don't just do films and music for our festival. We have a program that we do throughout the year. From October through March, we do a film series at the State Theater, and this sheet right here is a list of the first few films that we're playing this fall, including the documentary about Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, RBG, which has been one of the top grossing documentary films of 2018. So hopefully you can join us for that as well. We have some other really great documentaries playing in November, some short documentaries, and a cute little Australian film playing in December. But as I mentioned, we're trying to show different slices of life and different looks at people's lives around the world. And one that I thought would be of particular interest is a film called Edie, which was shot in the UK. And Edie is an amazing film. The director, Simon Hunter, will actually be flying in from England to be available for introductions and questions and answers for the film. So I'd like to share with you, if that's okay, just a quick trailer of the film Edie, which I think you'll enjoy.
Hear that, Mum? You could do your gardening here.
Nancy, I'm letting you know I'm going away for a few days.
So should I at least get your name or something?
Edith Moore.
The smart ones, they take someone up with experience up that mountain.
Who?
I assume that'll be deducted from your fee.
I think we'll just start off nice and slow. All right there.
Not many people have a view like that.
And what you're doing up here, it's kind of inspiring.
Ooh, that's nice.
You only live once.
Yeah, and I know.
Hey, by the way, don't forget yourself.
I'm not able to do it. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I've wasted so much time doing nothing.
I'm gonna get you up that mountain. It's not done!
So what do you think? Is that something you might want to see? That's fantastic. It was one of my favorite films that I saw at the Cleveland International Film Festival earlier this year, where I got to meet Simon Hunter, the director. It went over extremely well with audiences, and it's by far one of my favorites of the festival this year. I hope you'll join us for that. So some of the other areas that we cover in the Sizzler reel, you don't know this, but a lot of those films were shot right here in Michigan. One in particular was shot right here in Bay City. It's a quirky little comedy called Skippers, and it's about stone skipping. I know that sounds like not a very interesting subject for a film, but if you come to see the film, you'll see beautiful sights of Bay City, and I think it was shot in October, November. So you'll see the wonderful fall colors, and you'll see a great little quirky comedy, and the cast and crew will all be present for that screening. It's its Michigan premiere, and it'll be playing twice at the festival. That's a film called Skippers. One of the other bigger subjects that we have covered this year for the festival is art. So is anybody here an art fan at all? Great. We have are you familiar with the festival in Grand Rapids that takes place in September called Art Prize? We have a documentary about Art Prize at the festival this year. And it's part of what we're calling our Michigan Matinee program, which is an afternoon of Michigan-made films. So we usually show a block of short films, a feature-length narrative film, and a feature-length documentary. So more upstairs is our documentary, and it's a really great insider's look at Art Prize through the eyes mostly of the artists themselves and how they participate and how they have to try to get people's votes to win these big prizes, and the conflict between the jury awards, the award that comes from the jury, and the awards that come from the audience. So it's interesting to see how they sort of like fight on both ends of that. The narrative feature that we're showing is called Hunting Lands, and was shot up in Gaylord, in Grayling, in Atlanta, Michigan, in the middle of winter. So you're going to see this beautiful snow-covered forest country in that film. It's a suspense thriller, which is interesting. And then we have a shorts program, actually 2 shorts program. We're doing one on Saturday, one on Sunday. We had so many amazing short films from filmmakers here in Michigan that we had to expand it to 2 shorts programs. And that's anywhere from documentary shorts to narrative shorts. So we've got a lot of stuff that's made by Michiganders that we're really trying to highlight. One of the new features of the festival as well is called the Hell's Half Mile Film Slam, where we're doing a competition where filmmakers are actually making a film in one weekend, and then they get shown 2 weeks later at the festival. So it should be interesting to see what they come up with in 48 hours, because that's not a lot of time to make a film. So I do have for you, besides bribes with suckers and candy up here, the Review magazine has highlighted a lot of our films and done interviews with some of the filmmakers. And I've got some copies here if anybody would like to take them, as well as some flyers that will show you the schedule of events for our film series starting in October, on October 5th. And it looks like there's the a la carte schedule as well. The festival is September 27th through the 30th. We start off with the Père Marquette Depot party, and that's always a good time. And we run all the way through Sunday. We're actually using this venue that you're sitting in right now as our 3rd film venue. So you'll be able to see films right here at the Historical Museum. The State Theater is other main venue, as well as the Delta College Planetarium. Other events that we have going on during that weekend is our nonprofit day on Sunday. That's from 1 to 3. And we invite a lot of nonprofits to come in and set up booths and tables and tell you about what they're doing in the community. So again, as I said, we're about storytelling and we're about community. So we try to bring in as much as we possibly can to make it a fun-filled, just busy weekend in downtown Bay City. Which, if you were downtown Bay City last year during the festival, you probably shopped at the Michigan Made Marketplace. That was the first year for that. Did anybody get a chance to go to the Michigan Made Marketplace last year? Did you buy anything?
It was uptown?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or downtown, the one downtown, not the one...
I went to the one uptown.
Oh, okay, that one's actually happening...
Pretty soon.
Yeah, I think it's next weekend.
Okay.
Oh, did it start today?
I don't
No,
know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's. I know it's either this weekend or next weekend. But there's one on Washington Avenue from about, I think it's from Center, or maybe it's from 5th down to 4th or 3rd. And then there's food trucks that'll be on 5th Street as well. And they're all Michigan vendors, people who make their own goods, whether it's clothing or I don't know, there was some authors there that wrote their own books, and it's just really a great event. And then there's the City Market Harvest Day, where they have hay rides for families. So that's all happening the weekend of the festival. So I hope to see all your faces in downtown Bay City, September 27th through the 30th. And I'd be happy to take any questions about the festival, or I'd be happy to give you one of these suckers as you go. Yes?
Explain a little bit more, if you would, please, about the nonprofit time period. You said it was 1 to 3.
Sure, that's at the Delta College Planetarium. What we do is we try to drive as much traffic on Sunday to the planetarium as we can, so that those who are coming to see movies at the planetarium or that are just out and about will have an opportunity to go through and see the different nonprofits that are participating. And we're opening up to any nonprofits that would like to. They can contact our volunteer coordinator, who's listed on our website, Dawn at hellshalfmile.com, and she's the one that coordinates the nonprofit day.
Now you are at Delta College, you're at State Theater, you've got something going here. That's a lot to coordinate. How does that all come together?
We are a 100% volunteer organization. I have a big family, so I have 5 sisters, but I think 4 of them participate in the festival. One brother, but he doesn't participate. and lots of nieces that participate as well. But we have grown over the years. Like I said, this is our 13th year. We have a board of, we are our own nonprofit 501c3, and we have a board of 8 members, including myself. And then we have a list of other volunteers and organizers that help us put things together, from our volunteer committee to our receptions committee, marketing, sponsorship, operations, and so on. So we have, it's a big operation, and we all do it because we want to add something interesting to our community. Yes?
What were some of the challenges of getting the festival together originally?
We didn't know how to do anything. Fortunately for us, we were able to reach out to some other festivals in the state. Susan Woods from the East Lansing Film Festival was amazing. She took my call and she gave us as much information as every question I had was answered, and then she gave us other information as well. So she was fantastic. Going to other festivals was really key. I had gone to the East Lansing Film Festival and the Traverse City Film Festival. And I had, after the first year, I started going to the Tribeca Film Festival. I went there for about 11 years. We go to the Sundance Film Festival, South by Southwest, Cleveland International, Slam Dance, all these big festivals throughout the year. I wish I could be in Toronto right now, but it's just too close to our festival to actually make it. But one of the biggest challenges was, convincing the community that there's a difference between going to a film festival and going to see a film at the theater, at the mall, They're just as good as the films that are at the mall. I say sometimes better. But the opportunity is, this is an event. This is an opportunity for you to get together and see things that you might not have ever heard about before, or wouldn't have the opportunity to see at all until they get on Netflix a year later, or HBO or Cinemax. And sometimes these films don't even make it to that. But they're very worthwhile. And the reason that they don't make it is because they just don't have a big marketing budget, or they don't have a big celebrity, big actor that's attached to them. So for us, it was basically creating this sort of education of, why is a film festival different, and why is it interesting to go to? Why is it something that you want to do? And we're a multi-generational festival. We have teenagers, late teens, college-age kids coming to the festival, and we have senior citizens coming to the festival, and everyone in between. It's really fantastic. Our music does skew a lot younger, but the films are a cross-section of demographics and ages. There's just so many different films every year. You saw the young kid playing the guitar or fiddling up there. That's a film called Fiddlin'. If you like old-time bluegrass music, that is a film to see. And you'll love it specifically because they focus on kids who are picking up the tradition of old-time picking and fiddling. So just to be able to provide something, that's not the type of music that I would normally listen to, but I love this documentary. It's fascinating, and it just shows what community can do. It's a festival in Galax, Virginia, small town, huge festival. We hope that we could bring to our community someday what they do for their community.
Well, just from a personal standpoint, we enjoy independent films. We've got kids in Austin, Texas, and Portland, Oregon, where you can just go up the street and see that.
Right.
So when we retired back here, we were delighted that we had this film festival to be able to see equivalent things here.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. South by Southwest and Austin Film Festival and Fantastic Fest, all in Austin. I mean, there's so many. You probably went to the Alamo Draft House many, many times. I'd like to. There was one day at South by Southwest where I ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner there.
Also the Violet Crown downtown.
Oh, yeah, I've been to that one too. Well, we are the art house of our community. I mean, it's sad to say that there isn't really a program out there. The Temple Theater ran art house films for a while. Midland Center for the Arts does a film series in the wintertime too, and we're trying to partner with them for our film series. But without our film series and the MCFTA doing what they're doing, and sometimes what the Temple does, we wouldn't have those independent films coming to theaters. And for me, the theater experience is the experience. Watching it at home is fine, but watching it in a dark room with other people and experiencing that at the same time is really what it's about.
How do you select the films that are shown?
We do a very complicated process. We do a call for submissions through a couple of different websites that filmmakers go to see what festivals are out there and who's accepting films. So we do a blind call for submissions. They submit, they actually pay to have us consider their film for the festival. We get over 500 films, both feature-length and short films, that are submitted to us from around the world. And then I also go out to other film festivals like South by Southwest and Sundance, and I scout films there to see what's out there that I think would be great for our audience. Edie, that film, I saw at the Cleveland International Film Festival, and I thought, we just have to consider this for our festival. Brought it back to our programmers. We have 2 levels of programmers. We have pre-screeners. These are people who watch all the films that come in from the submission process, and they weed out the ones that aren't great or the ones that don't make sense for our festival, and then they pass them on to the next level of programmers, which we go through those and sort of rate them, and then at the end, whichever ones are rated high enough in consideration are in consideration, and then we just figure out what's too similar to each other and which one's better and how does it fit our program. So we start collecting films November 1st for the next year. So this is a year-round program that we're doing.
Are the films that you select, are they premiere films, never been shown before, or not?
It's a combination. A lot of times when people are submitting their films to a festival, they're looking for their premiere of that film. But for the most part, we don't look for premiere status. We're later in the year. A lot of festivals might have already played some of these films, but nothing, near us. So we're just trying to bring something new to the community, not necessarily brand new to the world. But sometimes we get those too.
But they're within the last year or so.
Absolutely,
Right, it's
absolutely.
like old.
Right, yeah, we're looking for something that's been produced within the last year or so. Yes?
There usually isn't much duplication between Hell's Half Mile and Saginaw. Is that deliberate, or you guys talk to each other?
We have in the past. We've connected on a number of different fronts. Every film festival has its own personality and does things differently. The films that are selected are based on the personality of that group that's involved. What the Riverside Segment Film Festival tries to do is, to me, they are a film series, a year-long film series in one weekend. They're all the best of films that hit the art houses throughout the year, some of which you can see on Netflix already, or maybe have hit HBO. But for me, that doesn't matter because I like to see them on the big screen again anyway. So their philosophy on programming is really about what got a lot of buzz throughout the year, and ours is more about discovering something new. Yes.
So you're only using the state here and the planetarium this year?
Yes. Last year we used the Scottish Rite. And the year before that, for several years, we used the Masonic Temple. We sort of little nomads with our third venue the last few years. So this is a bit smaller venue than we've had in years past for our third, but it's great because the history, the storytelling that you can see through the history of the exhibits here, and there's a little bit about Hell's Half Mile in the other room, so that works out really well. We really appreciate the museum team and what they've been able to offer us as far as partnering on this. So we're very appreciative of that. We'll have it all decked out. Looks like a nice little theater with theater seats and everything.
I know we vote on the movies afterwards. Do you actually use that then, the votes?
We do, and filmmakers absolutely appreciate your votes. Audience awards are the lifeblood of independent films. They put those laurels, screened at, or official selection, or winner of different categories, they use that to market to themselves to other festivals or to distributors to potentially get distribution to be on Netflix or HBO or to get into theaters. So we also do jury awards, which we have a group of industry professionals that we recruit every year. And they vote on which are the best film, the best short film, best actor, best actress, best supporting actor and actress, and things like that. Cinematography, soundtrack, things like that. And the best film in the jury award wins a $1,000 prize. So that's pretty important to them too. So just to wrap things up, we do have a couple of number of free events during the weekend as well. We've got some free music that takes place at a couple of venues downtown, but we also have a workshop on Friday for filmmakers called The Art of the Pitch. We also have a Sunday morning brunch filmmaker panel at Public House, and that's a great opportunity to sit and listen to filmmakers and hear them talk about their experiences in the film industry. And then maybe have some eggs and stuff too. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.